There is no delete. There is no double delete. There is no deleting sending. There is no deleting draft. There is no deleting received. If we want to go back to the tapes in Minnesota and find every single email you've ever sent, we can do it, said a human resources person to myself as I sat across from her getting yelled at for what she had determined to be an abuse of email. And I'll finish the story, I promise. It only makes me do the jump off of this point. We're finding out today, and when these fucking pieces fall together, do they fall together, folks? In the year 2012, a gentleman by the last name of Combetta sets up an email account. 2 years later, he is now taking the contents of Hillary Clinton's server. He is forwarding it to a Chinese-operated server. Every single one of her State Department emails is sent through this Combetta guys to his server. Now, that's where that piece sits. We do not know what happened to those emails once they hit his server, if they were further disseminated, if he just kept them as an archive. Did somebody watch them and gather them on the way of him doing his gathering? This guy doesn't have security clearance, and he's copying emails with the most top secret level of fucking coverage in it, and he's just a schmo. Hillary Clinton either knew or didn't know about this guy. And that is a problem in itself. If you guys remember, and like those of us here who are, wrestling commentators to the culture war and its fucking veiled lies of bullshit, as we all realize that violence is a fucking waste of time and that we can come together with the best and the brightest. We just need to we need to spin a web of hysteria around the country in order to create enough distraction, apparently, for this operation to get to work. Again, great. And of course, everything is always on time. So this is the issue. We know for a fact that 33,000 emails were paid by a company to what they call bleach bit and remove the emails from the devices. We know the devices were physically destroyed. Those are just actions that exist. We know that some of those emails that were deleted were then still found in the White House. We know that exists. We are aware of the fact that now all of her emails have gone to this place. This is the issue, is that those 33,000 emails, and I know to pay attention to this because do you guys remember when whataboutism wasn't a word in our world? And it was only until people started to drill down on what exactly was happening did the word whataboutism become a stopping point in discussion. Because when you have what is laid known to facts is that the server, the contents, and the people involved of it had been subpoenaed. And so now we know how important a subpoena is because we've seen them used over the last 3 years of our lives and talked about ad nauseum with mainstream media. So we know that under subpoena, these emails were destroyed. So they exist in BlackBerry on their servers. They exist in Boeing. They exist in every other place where those emails were sent. They exist in this guy's illegal server he's not supposed to have. And let me just say for this, if those emails, if they were like super thorough and they said, this is like, like when the bad guy tells the fucking guy he's about to kill his whole plan, that's what they deleted. So if somebody had that chunk of deleted emails in the same way, watch this, in the same way yesterday on the podcast, we talked about how they built an atom bomb And because they compartmentalized the pieces across 3 different sites with thousands and thousands and thousands of workers, that everybody turning a certain screw or making a certain tiny part made them complicit in, but then not aware of that they were building the A-bomb. And that's how we were able to build the atomic bomb as a quote-unquote conspiracy of thousands of workers believing they're doing something else when indeed their very actions led to the bomb that we used. In the same way that coders working at Google and the rank and file and people doing their best to write the best algorithms to do the best for their customers and all of that, or, working incrementally on what they're doing, all right, and that's, sorry, it's fucking phone. So just as the same thing as the Google employees know what they're doing. But the whole giant web is about what we're finding out and what we're seeing in these released Google documents where, well, we have the media, we create the media, we curate the media, we disseminate the media, and we edit the media as needed. That information goes down to the consumer base who consumes it. We're able to gather that data back into the machine learning. We're able to put the algorithm back into the machine learning, and then because of the data we have from the algorithm, the data that we have from the media, the data that we have from the end user, we then take that data to program the algorithms and the people we're programming with the algorithms. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure the fact that as you have confident experiences and you understand in your day that you are come to believe certain things by evidence that is so undeniable that you just live forward in the confidence through experience. How non-different is that? Then all of a sudden your limbic system is lit up because you get something in your timeline. And you send that information back based on how you engage in it, and then they watch your version of your physical limbic system exists digitally on their back end because they already have a picture of it because they know what's being sent. And they know how you light up when you get the information that you are sent and then what you do with it. And then because they have that limbic system, then you are best able to be served because they know your points of what stuff you're always going to watch, bus fight videos, whatever the fuck you're into. And that's how our timelines become curated. But then if all of a sudden you're able to curate that timeline, and then you're also able to just put on one side certain kind of stories and certain kind of advertisements, certain kind of blogs and things that just follow in line, is it an accident that people then arrive at the points where it's already been determined that we were programming them to get to? So the atom bomb, probably as dangerous as programming human beings. The Google not wanting to work with the U.S. military, probably a problem. The rise of whataboutism, stopping the conversation, leads us to not have the conversation about how much time I have left. Oh, can I do it in a minute? Yes, you can. So this guy has those 33,000 emails, and if he has them, who else has them? And if you were trying to figure out what exactly was happening that would cause a person to delete those emails and you had them, you might be able to look at them as the incremental pieces that they were and see a bigger picture. And perhaps, and more than likely, when that was found out in 2014, they did everything in their power, including spying on everybody's campaign on the left and the right, from Bernie to Jill Stein, the 17 dudes in the clown car. They all got spied in 2014. And now you see the motive of why those same people that covered up the fact that they discovered that these emails had been stolen, that the Chinese had infiltrated and were getting this information, and they shut it down. And not only did they shut it down, they covered it up, and they attacked anybody who might have anything to do with Hillary Clinton losing. And now you know. And now this all exists in 2014, well before Donald Trump, who's been cleared. And we're off to the races. Enjoy the show. God bless America, everybody.